Welcome to week 40 of pregnancy and the 13th week of the third trimester. Here we are in the last week of the 9th month of pregnancy. You are amazing and have done so much work through the past weeks. I went beyond 40 weeks for 3 of my 4 pregnancies, so you're in really good company if you're still playing that waiting game. Let's discuss what the baby is doing in these final days and what symptoms you might be experiencing as well. We will check in on our expecting crew this week and have a look at the think and do board as well. Welcome to the Birth Toolbox Classroom. I'm Alice, a doula and childbirth educator, going week by week through pregnancy with you. Sounds like it's time for class. What is happening with baby's development this week? Well, at 40 weeks of development, the fetus is about 20.28 inches or 51.5 centimeters, which is about this long. Of course, not all babies are the same length, and some babies will be longer or shorter even at birth. Just like that, and similarly, the weight of the fetus is about 7.63 to 8.5 pounds, which is about the same as a gallon of milk, and it can vary greatly from baby to baby. Now, when babies are born this week, in the 40th week, they're usually very ready for life outside the womb. Babies that are still in the womb this week are likely in the position that they are going to be born in. So if your baby is head down, it is very likely they are going to be born in that position, or if your baby is breech, it is very likely that they're going to be born in that position. In the 40th week of pregnancy, there's not much space for baby to make big movements, such as positioning, and also the amniotic fluid levels at this time of pregnancy are even lower. So they don't have a lot of options for making big movements. What symptoms and body changes should you expect at 40 weeks of pregnancy? At the end of pregnancy, you are likely feeling it all, from heartburn to leg swelling, from Braxton Hicks to back pain. One change that's positive that you might be experiencing this week is the ability to take some bigger breaths and have a little bit less heartburn. This would be the case if your baby has dropped into your pelvis. Many people start feeling a little bit easier breathing and have a little less digestive problems when this happens. It's something to look forward to if you haven't experienced it yet.
Hi, so week 40 of pregnancy for me was a bit of a wild ride. It started off pretty chill. So it was a couple days after my due date, things started to pick up a little bit. It didn't really feel like super different from before, but it was just like a little bit more intense. So I had this one day there, I woke up early in the morning. I don't know, maybe it was like 3 or something, and had a little bit of a hard time getting back to sleep, because I was just having this little bit of cramping. And I called the midwife in the morning, and I said, maybe it's going to be today. And I don't know if she even really bought it that much at that point, because I've been telling her that so many times. But it didn't really progress until the evening. So I was kind of just having these mild contractions. They were meeting the 511 rule, I guess, all day. They were pretty frequent. But they just weren't really going anywhere. And it was around 4:30 or something. I was like, maybe these are a little bit stronger. And then I ended up calling the midwife 5 something, and I was like, it's probably gonna be tonight. Just want to give you a heads up. And she's like, maybe I could come around 7 if you think that maybe things will have picked up by then. I was like, maybe if it keeps going at this rate, I might start to want a little bit of help around 7. And then it was not even 30 minutes later, I was in transition. It was so fast. And I could not even talk. My husband had to call her back and be like, you need to come sooner. And it was just really wild, how I had just been in this super, super mild state for so long. And then all of a sudden it was just crazy intense contractions and everything. And he was born 2 hours after I first called the midwife. So it was not long at all. I felt like I only pushed 3 times before he came out. So I don't know how much of that is more typical because it's my second pregnancy. I've heard things go faster, but But it was actually a really amazing experience, because even though it was very intense, it was very painful, it didn't last really very long, and I still had a lot of energy left by the end of it. It didn't completely exhaust me like my last labor definitely had. And so the baby and I were just fine by the end of it. I would definitely recommend the birth ball. I used that a lot. I ended up, he actually was born while I was like on top of the bed, leaned over the birth ball, which is probably not recommended, because if my mom had not been right there, I totally would have wiped out and fallen on the floor. But it was very helpful. It was the most comfortable way that I found.
Labor is going to be happening any day now. So on the list this week is to take some final belly photos. Being pregnant, it's such a fleeting time in our lives, and it's so nice to document this important time, both with photos and with video. Don't overthink this, just get something done. You will love to have this snapshot of your belly when it's no longer around. And just like last week, I'm adding early bedtime to the do side of the board. So many times I've had clients whose labor starts at like midnight, but they haven't gone to bed for the day yet. And labor just starts picking up from there, and they don't have any rest. I don't want this for you. I can't stress this enough. Go to bed early in these final weeks of pregnancy. Now, if you wake up the next morning and you didn't start labor, you should be thankful for any extra rest that you get. Now, really, trust me here, nothing is as important as getting rest. Rest is so critical, and I know you will thank me when you get it. One thing not to miss before next week, if you'd like a peek at my top products to make postpartum recovery easier and more enjoyable, I put together a list, and I will drop the link down in the description below so you can check that out. I hope your 40th week of pregnancy is a great one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next week.